Hello there, you bald ape. Take a moment to appreciate what you did this morning. You woke up, you cooked something, you ate it. Completely unremarkable. But that routine, fire, heat, food, is the reason your skull looks the way it does. It is the reason you have a brain at all. We are, quite literally, the animal that cooking built. This is the case file on fire. Let's open it. First, a suspect. Meet Homo erectus. 2 million years ago, walking upright, making stone tools. Bigger than the apes before it, longer legs, flatter face, smaller gut. That detail is going to matter enormously in about 4 minutes. Now go back further, before erectus, to the apes we came from. Our ancestors spent most of their day eating, not enjoying a meal, processing raw fibrous plant matter for hours. Modern chimps spend up to 6 hours a day just chewing. 6 hours every day. Big jaws, big teeth, big gut to break down the calories, a digestive system as long as a motorway. Running a gut that big is expensive. Metabolically speaking, your intestines are a gas guzzler. And that is the trap early hominins were caught in. You need calories to run a big brain, but you need a big gut to extract enough calories from raw food. Big gut or big brain. The body could not easily afford both. Something had to change the equation. Something did. Fire. Now, the oldest confirmed hearths, actual controlled fires, date to about 400,000 years ago in a site called Kizum Cave in Israel. But there are hints of fire use stretching back nearly 1 million years at Wonderwerk Cave in South Africa. And the anatomy of Homo erectus suggests fire was changing bodies even before we can prove the hearths. This is the cooking hypothesis, proposed by primatologist Richard Wrangham of Harvard, laid out in his 2009 book, Catching Fire. Wrangham's argument: cooking is not something humans invented after they got smart. Cooking is what made them smart. Let's understand why. What does heat actually do to food? It breaks chemical bonds, it denatures proteins, it gelatinizes starch. In plain terms, it does the digestion before digestion does it. Your body gets more energy from the same food. Studies on mice-fed cooked versus raw food show the cooked group gains significantly more body mass. Same calories, more extracted. More energy extracted per bite means you need fewer bites. You need less gut to process it. You spend less time chewing. And that energy surplus, those freed up calories, could be redirected to the brain, the most metabolically greedy organ in the body. Your brain is about 2% of your body weight. It consumes roughly 20% of your calories. It is a terrible deal for everything else in your body. Cooking made that deal affordable. That is the core of Wrangham's hypothesis. Now, let's look at the body, because the fossil record is not subtle about this. Compare Australopithecus, our earlier cousin, still largely raw food dependent, with Homo erectus. Erectus has 40% smaller molars, 40%. These are not minor tweaks. Smaller jaw muscles, less prognathic face, less snout. The face is pulling back towards something you would recognize. The ribcage narrows at the bottom. The characteristic barrel chest of great apes, which houses that big gut, starts to disappear, and brain volume climbs from about 450 cubic centimeters in Australopithecus to 900 in Erectus to 1,350 in Eus. Tripled. Our brains roughly tripled in a geological eye blink. Something supplied the energy budget for that expansion. Wrangham argues it was cooked food. The numbers are consistent. But fire didn't just change bodies, it changed something harder to see in bone. It changed behavior, starting with sleep. Most primates sleep in trees, out of reach of predators. That sleep is light defensive, constantly interrupted. Fire on the ground changes the calculation. Predators avoid fire. You can sleep on the ground. You can sleep deeply. Deeper sleep means more REM sleep. More REM sleep is linked to memory consolidation and cognitive function. The fireplace may have been a brain incubator. Now, the fireplace as a social technology. This is where things get interesting. Before fire, when the sun went down, the day was over. There was nothing to do but hide. Fire extended the day. It created hours that had never existed before. Dark hours with nothing to do but sit together and talk. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner of the University of Utah studied the Juhwanzi Bushmen of southern Africa and recorded what they talked about around fires. During the day, conversations were practical. Tasks, plans, complaints about other people. At At night, around the fire, 80% of the conversation shifted to stories, narrative, tales of distant people and places, values, the social glue that holds a group together. The campfire was the first auditorium, the first classroom, the first therapy session. Think about that. For hundreds of thousands of years, fire was the internet. Fire was where culture happened. And that social pressure, sitting close, cooperating, sharing a meal, almost certainly shaped our psychology. Cooking requires cooperation. You have to trust someone not to eat your food while it cooks. Wrangham argues this may be where pair bonding was reinforced, a male providing raw food, a female cooking it, a shared meal. That is a contested part of the hypothesis, and not everyone agrees. But the broader social dimension is hard to dismiss, because we are the only animal that cooks. Every single human society in recorded history has cooked its food. No known human society lives entirely on raw food. Not one. By contrast, every other ape eats almost entirely raw. The difference is absolute. Now, a dissenting voice. Because science without disagreement is just a documentary with no plot. Some researchers argue the fire evidence is too sparse before 400,000 years ago to hang a whole evolutionary theory on. If we were cooking since Erectus, where are the hearths? Where are the ash deposits? Wrangham's counter. Fire evidence decays. Open-air fires leave almost nothing after a few thousand years, let alone a million. Absence of evidence is not evidence of absence, particularly for something as perishable as a cooking fire. And the body changes are there regardless. The smaller teeth, the shrunken gut, the expanded skull, those don't lie. There is also a more recent strand of the argument, looking at the gut bacteria, at what our microbiome actually expects. Our gut microbiome is calibrated for cooked food. When modern humans try to sustain long-term raw food diets, things go wrong. A 1999 study of raw food dieters in Germany found that the majority suffered significant weight loss and a large percentage experienced reproductive disruption. The body was not getting enough usable energy from unprocessed food. We are simply not built for it anymore. We are obligate cookers. That is how deep this runs. Now, let's talk about the brain again, because there is another layer here. A bigger brain needs more to do with itself. Neurons that are never fired are pruned away. The brain requires stimulation to build itself. Firelight hours, those new evening hours, were stimulus. Conversation, story, planning. The brain was being exercised in entirely new ways. There is a hypothesis, explored by cognitive scientist Lambros Malafouris, that human cognition is extended cognition. We think partly through our tools and environment. Under that framing, fire was not just fuel, fire was cognition infrastructure. The campfire was an external hard drive. Language. Complex language almost certainly deepened around the fire. You had to coordinate cooking. You had to negotiate sharing. You had to tell the new generation what not to touch. Fire creates pedagogical necessity, and cooking itself requires something cognitively demanding: delayed gratification. You catch something, you do not eat it immediately. You wait while it cooks. That waiting is an executive function skill, a prefrontal cortex skill. We practiced impulse control every single meal. Every campfire meal was a small cognitive workout, repeated millions of times over hundreds of thousands of years. Now here is the part that should genuinely unsettle you. You did not choose to cook. Your body cannot function properly without it. You have no meaningful choice in this matter. You are dependent on a technology your ancestors stumbled into. You are a being shaped entirely by something none of them planned. The self-important animal that builds cathedrals was architected by a campfire. That is not a metaphor. The brain you are using right now to process this idea, powered by cooked food, built by fire. Let's do a quick audit. The changes fire drove, all in one place. Smaller teeth and jaws, smaller gut, larger brain, deeper sleep, bigger social groups, and a new kind of evening, the first hour humans were ever truly idle. An idle hour that became story, story that became culture, culture that became everything else. You are a cathedral builder whose blueprints were drawn in smoke. Think about what this means for how we relate to fire today. Humans are attracted to fire in a way that is hard to fully explain as cultural. We stare at candles, we gather around bonfires, even the electric fire, the screen glow. Evolutionarily, your brain does not know the difference between a campfire and a television. The fire reflex may be ancient and deep. We built our nervous systems around staring at one, which means every movie you have ever watched, every campfire YouTube video, every candlelit dinner, your 2 million-year-old brain is saying, home, safe, eat. We carry the campfire everywhere we go. We just changed its shape. So the next time someone tells you humans are masters of fire, correct them. Fire mastered us first. We are its product. Everything that came after, the tools, the language, the art, the cities, was downstream of the cook fire. A small, accidental fire on a savanna somewhere in Africa, a frightened animal investigating the warmth, then us. Case closed, file sealed. You are a cooked ape and the evidence has been in your skeleton all along. If you found this file worth opening, the channel has more. Human evolution is full of cases this strange and this close to home. We will see you at the next fire.